Alrighty, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining. Today, we're going to be going through sending purchase orders from the iGyro portal. So this is continuing our migration from the Gyro desktop features and moving those into the portal. So we've had many requests to be able to send the purchase orders from the portal because it gives you a bit more flexibility on sending from other devices like your iPad and your mobile phone, for example. All right, so I've got the Gyro portal loaded up here, and I'm just going to jump into a job. All right, so you should be pretty familiar with what we're looking at here. It's just the job interface with our tabs across the top here for the various functions. And the few tabs we're looking at here are over on this side, on the right-hand side here. So our purchase orders, obviously, they start their life in a bill of quantity environment. So we use Estimator to create our bill of quantities. And you make your bill of quantities, complete those, turn them into orders. And the last step there is that you obviously need to send those purchase orders out to your suppliers. Alrighty, so I've got a few items here in the bill of quantities. And some of those I've already put through as orders here. So you can see the orders that I've got here. But just a real quick recap on how easy it is to create an order from Estimator is I'll just jump into one of these cost centers here. And essentially you add your items into the cost center, choose the quantities that you're looking for. All right, so because there was already an order there for that one on load 1, it's created a load 2 for us, and then we would select our company from that list there. So this is the supplier that'll be providing that service for us. Okay, the last step here is once we've assigned a supplier, we then just need to finalize that order. So we'll just tick that log order button here. And what that's given us then is the order for cost center 440.2. That's the second load there. So that was a real quick overview of what to do there. We've obviously got some more lengthy videos on how to do that, but we'll shoot over to our orders tab now. Right, you can see this is the one that we just created just a second ago, the order 440.2. Alrighty, so this interface has been here for quite some time. So you should be pretty familiar with this, and it does keep track of your costs as well. So we've got our costs for the orders and the invoiced amount. So as accounts payable invoices come in from suppliers into Gyro, it tallies them against these orders, and you can see your variance there as well. Now, the new parts we're looking at here on this orders screen is there's a few additional functions over here. So we've always had this line items button where you can jump in and see the line items in each of those orders. But now we've got this extra button for new email. So each one of these orders you can email separately here. And a little warning symbol here. Now, you may remember that we've got a function or a module here that you can set up so that when you're sending out a purchase order, you'll automatically attach the right attachments to go with that purchase order so the suppliers get everything that they need. So you might have a site safety planning, for example, that goes out with every single order. Other orders will need the construction plans and whatever else you'd like to attach. So in the Gyro desktop admin section there in cost centers, there's a way for you to go through and configure that. So we do have some other videos around working through that as well. But today we're just focusing on sending these orders out via emails here. Alrighty, so this one's indicating that we are missing those files. So if we went through in the attachments and made sure we loaded up the NABERS certificate and the BASICs, we would no longer have that little exclamation mark there. And obviously this one we should know about as well. We've got the exclamation mark letting you know that that order has not been generated as a PDF yet. So obviously you want to make sure you've done that prior to emailing that to your supplier. So I'll just pick this Bunnings one here to start with. So I'll generate that order just to begin with. All right, once that order's made, you'll get a link for that order and you no longer have that exclamation mark. Now I'll just quickly show you what that order is looking like. So there's the generated order based on our bill of quantities. This logo is obviously going to be your own logo that you set up in your database. Now, there's the email button here. We'll click on this button. Now that'll pop up a little email interface. So straight away, it's populated this address. So the recipients here are based on your business contacts in Gyro. So you can add more in here. So if I wanted to send it to another address, I'd just type that in and hit enter. It's giving you another address, and then you can delete addresses out that you no longer like. All right, so you get an opportunity here to change the subject and anything that's in the body of this email as well. So this is a pre-formatted email simply just to let the supplier know this is a purchase order that you're sending them. And you'll see our attachments that are supplied as links here. So we're opting to use links rather than physical attachments on an email because generally our emails are quite large, especially if you've got large house plans, and they can very quickly get too large for the receiving mailbox to accept them. So it's still pretty common for some suppliers to have 10 meg or even 5 meg limits. So this gets around that. There's an email without attachments is very small. So you can see here it's attached the site safety rules. We've got a drawing PDF there and also the purchase order. When you're happy with that, we've got the send button. So we'll send away and off it goes. So it disappears. If there was a problem, you get an error message to say that that's happened. It's disappeared, so we're all happy. So we'll jump into the emails tab here. You'll notice there's a pending, so it can take up to maybe a minute or so for that email to get sent out. I'll just refresh that again to see how we're going. It still isn't quite sent yet. So this is still in a sort of a draft situation here, has not been sent, but we still can't edit that because it's still pending to be sent. Come back to that in a moment. We'll let that complete. Jump back to the orders tab here. And we'll just try and send one from this to PGH. I'll generate their order. Click the email button. And we'll notice here that it didn't actually address it to anyone. So again, you still can just jump in and type in the address if you know what it is. Select it from your list. So as you're typing, it's obviously looking back through your contact database for email addresses that you type in. All right, but if you want to permanently set this up, we've got a new function now. It's still living in the Gyro desktop, so we'll shoot back to that temporarily. In time, all of these functions will become part of the Gyro portal as well. But for now, I've got business contacts in here. So that was off the home screen of Gyro into business contacts. I've just loaded up PGH company here. And we've got our employees. So the special employee we're going to add is just going to be called purchase orders. So first name purchase, last name orders. And essentially that's the purchase orders contact. So the emailing function will look at this contact for any email address. Save that. So we have opted to do it this way just because there are other reasons. This might be if you have an email address on the company or the organization, that's sort of your point of contact, but there are usually different departments in each company as well. So in this case, all purchase orders will go to this address, and that's the way you should set up your business contacts. All right, so as soon as you save that, immediately we can come back in here and we can hit that email button. And from now on, it's going to use that email address we supplied on that contact. I won't send that for real to that person. I'll just put my address in. Alrighty, so that's the one we just sent just a second ago. This is the one that we sent earlier. So that's completed. It gives us a timestamp of when that occurred. And all this is read-only now. We can't change that. So a few functions in here. We've got our searching, so we can search for anything in here. So if we want to search for that order number, for example, we should be able to type in 450 and that'll filter that list down for us. All right, on a email that's already been sent, we'll have a forward option. So we could forward the email. So once we click that, it gives us a new email with the content of the original one. Same as like your email, your Outlook email client will do something very similar. So we do have an option here to address this to wherever you'd like to send it to. So again, it's still looking through the database for all of your email contacts, and you can select from the list as you're typing. All right, but we do have an option in this screen that we can just save a draft. So if we hit that, we can go away, we can come back, and that email will still exist there, ready to still be modified. We can still edit this one. So anything that hasn't been sent already, we can delete. So simple as just deleting that. Forward that one again now. Alrighty, so the last thing that we're looking at here is this new button here, new email. So we can just create a new email from here that'll create us a blank row to work on. That's automatically saved as a draft. So whatever changes we make to this, we can still save it. Alrighty, so then we've got a full list of every email that's been sent around this job. So everyone in your business will have access to look through this email, and it just helps to keep everyone on the same page. Now, this new feature of sending purchase orders from here has only just been released today, so there's still a few things that are being worked on here. So at the moment, I've shown you a way of just sending a single purchase order. Throughout next week, we'll get some more functions here that we can select multiple. So we could control click these or shift click the items to select them and click a button that'll create a set of draft emails in bulk for you, and that'll save you from doing them one at a time. Probably the only other thing we're missing here as well is a way to attach files that aren't automatically attached. So we'll have a button here that will allow you to look through your attachments on that job and insert them as a file link in here.
Tim, it's Glenn here.
Yes, Glenn.
That screen you've got there where you've got to press the little yellow button to generate as a PDF.
Yep.
Do we need to have that so that can be done as a group as well?
That is possible. So if we want to do these two, there's a function here you can right click and we can go generate PDF orders.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
So yeah, there are some bulk functions in there. So that particular function we just did there to create them in bulk or create the purchase orders in bulk is definitely in another video where we've gone through creating purchase orders in more detail.
Very good.
All right, so probably the last thing that everyone's really excited about is sending from your mobile phone and your iPad. That does work now. I've tested it this afternoon just as soon as this was released. It's still a little bit fiddly in that there's some scrolling around that you need to do on those devices, especially for the phone. The iPad works a bit better. But we will work on that throughout next week as well to have that a bit more simplified so that on those smaller devices, you don't need to scroll around. Alrighty, if anyone's got any questions, please let me know. All right, looks like we're happy there. So yeah, go for it now. It's live now. Everyone can jump in and start using that. Probably best for project managers and estimators at this stage. But yeah, certainly ready for you to use. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, Tim. Very, very pleasing development.
Awesome. Alrighty. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you soon.
Bye for now.